So the next thing is, Josh, did you know about this?
I remembered. I remembered. It
Spotify
took
is
me a
changing
minute.
its royalty model to crush streaming fraud and introduce a minimum payment threshold. So Spotify has decided that they're going to decide who gets paid.
I read this article too. This whole thing is kind of convoluted. I don't think that we
It's
know
not
enough about it yet to really form an opinion, but
it's not
the headlines
as
look
black and
scary.
white, I think, as people are saying that it is.
Basically, what they're trying to avoid is like way back when a band uploaded an album of complete silence and told their fans to stream it constantly. And they actually made enough money off of royalties to then go record the record. And so like what they're trying to do is get rid of all of these like scammy things that are being posted on Spotify, which is also just convoluting the algorithm even further. And
Yes.
so like I get it, but then also having tiered pricing or tiered payouts is absolutely garbage. So it's like
Yeah.
in all honesty, I don't think I'm smart enough to figure out what the right thing to do is here.
So
And I also
here, I'll go through
don't know if this
the
is the right one.
changes. I'll go through the changes real quick with so they can kind of understand what we're talking about in its totality. So this once again, Music Business Worldwide, as of October 24th, 2023. This is the article by Tim Ingham. He kind of gives us the 3-point breakdown right here, which is there's 3 changes that Spotify are making are introducing a threshold of minimum annual streams before a track starts generating royalties, in a move expected to demonetize a portion of tracks that previously absorbed 0.5% of the service's royalty pool, financially penalizing distributors of music, labels included, when fraudulent activity is detected on tracks that they've uploaded to Spotify, and introducing a minimum length of play time that each non-music noise track must reach in order to generate royalties. So the third thing is the thing that you were talking about with like the noise thing.
Yeah, but I don't like how that's worded.
I don't either.
Because
I don't either.
what determines whether a song is worth something?
So that's what people's are arguing. That's what people are up in arms about
How much
arguing
revenue did they do? Like 1 billion?
this year.
Yeah.
Oh God, I have no idea. It's so much.
So
That's probably there's probably a quick Google search to find that
this is
out.
what's
But
extremely annoying. So like say if it's like they're paying out like $1 billion, right?
yeah, that's what they're saying. Intent.
So okay,
$1 billion in royalty payments over the next 5 years. And they're saying that $1 billion over the next 5 years is 0.5% of the service's royalty pool.
yeah. So okay, here's the deal. I originally was like, it's only 0.5%. Just let the kids make a little bit of money off their noise music, right? That's $5 million.
Yeah, $5 million a year for the next 5 years. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's not nothing.
We're talking in figures that are very
it
far
looks
above my
like
pay grade.
it looks like nothing because the 1 billion is so big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
the 1 billion is so big that 0.5% does it, I think, a disservice on how big the number actually is.
yeah, so like I get it, but like also like this isn't the first time that this has been a thing though. Because like
No,
remember whenever albums used to always have 12 songs and 2 of them were like little interludes?
yeah.
It's because the label didn't consider that a song. So contractually they had to come up with 2 other songs to meet the album requirements.
Yeah.
So it's a thing that's happened before, right?
Yeah.
But if people were buying that song, they're still getting paid for it. But I guess like the cost of an album was the same regardless of how many tracks are on it. But
so this speaks the way that this, because I did read this before bringing it up to you. The way that this reads to me feels less like a music platform thing and feels more like, obviously it's a tech platform thing. You know who it feels exactly like? YouTube monetization. When YouTube made the change to, because everybody used to be able to get monetized. And then they changed it to having a monetization structure. So you had to get what is it called? What's the term? Um you have to be monetized through their YPP, the YouTube Partner Program, which is like you have to have X amount of subscribers and X amount of views per, or X amount of hours viewed per year.
But then
So that's
also,
kind of what they're doing with this, right? It's like you have to have X amount of streams on a song in order for it to trigger monetization.
like, hear me out. Did they announce the number?
No,
And
and that's
honestly,
the
if they're
thing.
doing that though, like it should be like, oh, you have to hit 1 million streams and then it should be retroactive.
So every song past that gets, yeah, once you hit 1 million streams on anything, like total, like in totality,
Yeah, like I'm not saying it should be 1 million, but like
but like a number.
for round numbers, okay?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
how it should work is you make 0.000000000, then you hit 1 million, and then it's like, oh, cool, here's your $4,000.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Paid out retroactively based on,
Yeah,
or
it should be
I mean,
retroactive, and if it's not retroactive, that's
that's
fucked
not
up.
how YouTube does it. YouTube does it with you make nothing, and then when you get monetized, everything from everything you've ever made from that point is monetizable.
Yes.
So it's not retroactive, but it's like it basically activates pay on everything,
Yeah, but for
which I also think
Spotify,
is fine.
but I think
I
for
also think it's fine.
Spotify, it should be retroactive. YouTube, it's a bit different.
Potentially, yeah.
I
This
think
is
that
going to be
I don't
very.
know.
This is going to
Sorry
be.
to any
It's
YouTubers watching this, but yeah, I mean, I don't think that you deserve monetization just because you made a video.
I don't know about that, Josh.
Clip it,
That's
clip it, put that on TikTok.
no. I'm not
Yeah,
putting.
dude.
No, the you tell that to Lee and his car guy.
Well, he deserves it. He's the
That's
goat.
your opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Okay, what they need is, dude. Do you remember whenever I said that Spotify should work by you have to submit your song and then someone listens to it, and if it's trash it doesn't get put on the platform?
yeah.
That's how it should be, dude.
So
But
here's some numbers. Actually,
it's like some middle-aged Italian woman.
some threshold numbers. Okay, here we go. This would suggest that for these tracks to generate 0.05 per month in royalties, they would need to generate 17 plays a month or around 200 plays a year. Spotify says tracks that currently represent 99.5% of stream share will continue to monetize after these changes, confirmed
Oh, so
one well-placed
they're
source.
like literally just barely trimming any fat. I thought it was going to be way
Yeah.
higher.
No.
No, that's
Because when
not
you're
bad.
talking about an industry where 100,000 tracks or more are being uploaded to streaming platforms daily, the amount of money paid out to these tracks cumulatively results in a substantial sum,
Yeah,
which does make sense.
I knew it wouldn't be a lot, because if it was a lot, then like someone's getting sued again, you know? And like I
Yeah.
feel like
I don't think they're trying to go
Spotify
down that
probably
route.
has people that are just like living in Washington. You know what I mean at this
Yeah.
point? Like so like
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't going to be a lot, but like that's nothing.
Yeah. It's basically a song that does fine. You know what I mean? Like a beginner song that does enough.
You could literally
Um,
just listen to it like your own song and be monetized.
a
So
couple times a month, yeah. The one that I find actually the most interesting is the second one. Financially penalizing distributed music label included when fraudulent activity is detected on tracks that they've uploaded to Spotify. I need to know what that, you might have an insight on this,
oh,
but
I know
I don't
exactly what
know.
it means.
What does
Oh,
that
okay.
mean?
All right. So let, let me tell you all about it, folks. In short, you know how like a bunch of people are like buying streams and they're buying YouTube
Yeah.
views and they're buying bot
Bot.
comments and all that?
Yeah.
And they're buying followers still. Labels fund that too. The
Oh,
last
so it's
yeah,
preventing bot.
Yeah.
streams.
Dude, that was like a huge thing whenever like Jack Harlow's last album came out. People were like, why is there so many bot interactions? And then like Atlanta got busted for like literally just like
Oof.
artificially inflating their numbers with like bot farms in India. And so yeah, that's all that is, which is good because like
No, that can only be helpful because that's essentially stealing money.
yeah, no, it not only is it stealing money, but then like it's also just straight up just like kind of garbage, you know, but like they're doing it so then they can inflate these artists and get them put on like big festivals and stuff like that and make a ton of money
Yeah.
at a festival, but then like they announce a headlining tour and like nobody shows up,
Yeah.
you know. But that's also a thing that people artificially inflate too, dude. Most of these artists that have sold out tours, they aren't even close to sold out. They're just paying the label, or not the label, they're paying the venue to stop selling tickets. And then they
Yeah,
say it's sold out.
or they're buying extra whatever kind of tickets, and then they're technically sold so they get to sell out.
Dude, it's
Like
nuts.
extra
It's
VIPs
nuts.
or whatever.
Everything is fake.
Yeah. Um yeah, I found that the most interesting actually because that's going to keep I know labels have been doing some shady stuff around streaming and Spotify and like all that and this is going to keep them they're going to have to come a little more correct, which is good. And I
Well,
also think
you know who's
that
also going to suffer because of that, though? Songwriters and producers,
yeah,
engineers.
I mean everybody.
You know what I mean? They're
It's
going to
going to
be
but it
making less money, and then they're going to be like, "Sorry, we can't
yeah,
afford your rate."
I'm hoping that this will continue the growth of the independent music movement that's continually going and like continually growing. You have more and more artists popping off that are not on a label that won't sign to a label, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping that that will continue to grow and maybe because some of these inflated numbers this it's really funny, but some of these inflated numbers by labels are to say, "Hey, look how good we're doing. Why don't you come sign with us? We get all these numbers." When in actuality, they're paying for a lot of those numbers, and some of the people that are signing are better off not signing and getting more because they probably make more on their own numbers without because the label's inflating it with bot stuff.
Yeah, man. There's like this big thing where like a lot of artists that should be signing to a label are also going to make less money once they're signed to a label. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it's like hyper specific. Like you have to make sure that you're a great fit. You know, the team is gonna, you know, help you nurture what you need to nurture. But I don't know.
And they gotta care. Like, you gotta have good A&R, you gotta have good management, you gotta have good like,
Dude, and
everything
that's the
across
thing.
the board.
There's so many instances where like it's totally not like that, and it sucks, man.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I think it's really funny that Spotify's like, "Hey, record labels, we're coming after you."
Yeah, which is hey, man, I normally Spotify gets a lot of flack for being because I mean, definitely, hey, Spotify, definitely pay us more, but also, like, somebody's gotta go after the labels, and we're all too small to do it, so they're really the only people that can do it,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
they're like
Them and
the
Apple are the only people that can, like, actually make them do it, and Apple won't.
Apple. Yeah, because Apple's a whole ass bitch, dude. They act like,
But that's what I mean, Apple won't,
we
and so
pay.
Spotify's the only company that has the, like 1, they have a reason to, 2, they have the ability to, 3, they have the capital to.
First of all, Apple's charging $800 for like $300 worth of RAM. All right. So first of all, fuck you. Second of all,
Dude,
Apple will
those
literally be like, "Hey guys, we're paying our songwriters and artists so much more money than the competition." But then like you go to their Spotify, or they're not their Spotify, their Apple Music playlists, and it's just like everything that's on the radio. And it's like you're doing nothing to help artists, you know?
yeah, you get .05 on Apple versus .03 on Spotify. Um, but Spotify's algorithm is way more tuned to growing your audience, so you can actually grow. You can actually use Spotify more like a social media platform rather than just like a listening platform.
Yeah. And Apple Music
Um,
is like, "No, we don't care. Just give us
yeah,
money."
and I use Apple Music. I also use it because I get it for free because it's a part of a family plan that I have. So But I try to listen to as much stuff. I haven't been listening to as much music lately as I want to.
I don't listen to music.
I've
Music
been really
sucks.
reading a lot. So I've been
I
listening to a lot of audiobooks.
I only listen to the sound of my stomach growling when I'm on my fourth cup of coffee.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much the Spotify thing. I would keep if you're interested in that, I'll have the articles that we pulled up linked in the description of this episode. They're both Music Business Worldwide articles. Just wanted to give them a shout out for actually having really informative articles, and they're pretty easy to read, and they're not like, crazy ads everywhere either. So I appreciate the formatting of their articles because they made it a lot easier for me to read quickly and understand better.